This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Diane Roberts. The U.S. Supreme Court made a historic change Thursday minutes after ending a contentious term. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Meghani reports.
Ketanji Brown Jackson is now the High Court's first black female justice after being sworn in by Chief Justice John Roberts.
I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
For the first time, there are now 4 female justices, with Jackson replacing former boss Stephen Breyer. She won't change the court's 6-3 conservative majority, one that issued several major rulings this term. Last week, it overturned the nationwide right to abortion and expanded gun rights. Today, it dealt a blow to fighting climate change, limiting how the EPA can curb power plant emissions. President Biden calls it another devastating decision that aims to take the nation backwards. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
By a 6-3 vote Thursday with conservatives in the majority, the U.S. Supreme Court said the Clean Air Act does not give the Environmental Protection Agency broad authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants that contribute to global warming. Instead, the EPA is limited to plant-by-plant regulation. The High Court said the court's ruling could complicate the administration's plans to combat climate change. And French President Emmanuel Macron urged other world leaders Thursday to better protect the planet's oceans by adopting an international agreement modeled on the legally binding Paris Climate Accords. Macron traveled to Portugal after attending a NATO summit in neighboring Spain to make a speech at the UN Ocean Conference in Lisbon. He acknowledged the failure of world leaders to update an international treaty to include a mechanism that addresses ocean conservation and the sustainability of marine life. This is VOA News. U.S. President Joe Biden returned to Washington Thursday evening as he wound up a 5-day trip to Europe. The trip highlighted the key U.S. role in mounting a strong allied response to Vladimir Putin's aggression in Ukraine. Biden attended a group of 7 leaders meeting in Germany, which was followed by a 3-day summit in Madrid. During the trip, he announced plans to permanently bolster the U.S. military presence in Europe. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said Thursday the withdrawal of Russian forces from Snake Island would significantly change the situation in the Black Sea. In his evening address, Zelensky said that the pullout would limit Russian activities, but acknowledged it would not guarantee safety in the Black Sea area yet. The Kremlin portrayed the pullout from Snake Island as a goodwill gesture, but Ukraine's military claimed it had forced the Russians to flee in 2 small speedboats following a barrage of Ukrainian artillery and missile strikes. The Ukraine leader also thanked U.S. President Joe Biden for the latest package of defense support. The U.S. plans to send an additional $800 million in security assistance to Ukraine, including rockets and advanced air defense systems. The World Health Organization says coronavirus cases are rising around the world. AP correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
The WHO says COVID cases were up 18% last week, with more than 4.1 million new cases reported globally. The Middle East saw the biggest rise, up by 47%. Infections rose by about 32% in Europe and Southeast Asia and by about 14% in the Americas. The number of deaths remained at about 8,500 worldwide, but increased in 3 regions, again the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and the Americas. The WHO says the rise is mostly driven by Omicron variants BA4 and BA5. I'm Ben Thomas.
Belarus said Thursday it was temporarily suspending visa requirements for Polish citizens in what it described as a good neighborly gesture. Belarus Border Control said in a statement President Alexander Lukashenko will allow a temporary visa-less entry regime for Polish nationals. The new requirements last for 6 months, starts Friday, and lasts until December 31st. Lukashenko, who has ruled the country since 1994, has extended similar authorizations to Lithuanians and Latvians until year-end. The surprise announcement comes 4 months after Belarus's closest ally, Russia, launched a military operation in Ukraine. And recapping our top story, Ketanji Brown Jackson has been sworn into the U.S. Supreme Court, shattering a glass ceiling as the first black woman on the nation's highest court. Via remote, I'm Diane Roberts.